something that we are not told every day and maybe even don't understand about our own behavior. And this is just a little thinking model that I've constructed through thinking about addictions, actually. That life is lived in cycles. Life is lived like this. So there are ups and there are downs. Not really lived on a straight line, a flat line. I think we would have liked it to be a bit more like, or I would have liked it, because I've got a sort of a very flexible, fluid kind of personality type. So sometimes I think I would have liked it to be a little bit more flatline, just easy. Now, if you think in terms of cycles and how cycles work, and if I try to explain it in terms of addictions, there are, according to this little model or theory of mine, there are 4 distinct phases that I have seen when it comes to cycles. There's, let's say, a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, a phase 4, and then it starts to repeat itself on a phase 1. Phase 1, usually a phase where everything is okay. Life is running smooth, there's not many hiccups, not many things going wrong. You don't experience a lot of curveballs thrown at you. Life is just going on, like normal, not spiking too high or too low. Not sickness maybe, not a washing machine that has broken out for the 4th time kind of scenario. Everything is rather constant, smooth. But then, and with addictions, I don't know always what triggers our entering into phase 2, going downhill. But there are some triggers. I've worked many years with men that has been addicted to pornography and had some kind of sexual brokenness. In working with them, I've often wondered what are the things that trigger the onset of the phase 2. Now, you must remember, addictions are prevalent in most of our lives. You've got some kind of addiction. It might be buying shoes, or or it might be shopping. I know I'm gradually getting addicted to TV watching. I need to do something about it, but it's tough not to go and sit there and just veg. But in your pornography, nicotine, alcohol, and drugs, some kinds of drugs or medication you can get addicted to. I'm not just talking about serious heroin addiction or cocaine addiction. I'm talking about all kinds and types of addictions that we have that runs in this kind of cycle. There are things that trigger the onset of phase 2, and you can see on this little chart of mine, phase 2 is downhill. And it could be a steep downhill. And then when those things are triggered, there are telltale signs that one can pick up on that says, I'm going where I don't want to go. I know within a day or two I'm going to be at a place where I'm going to do something that I don't like to do. But I'm going to do it. Often I equate that to something that Paul said. The things I do not want to do, I do. I find myself doing them, and the things I do want to do, I find myself not doing them. I call this phase 2 the temptation phase. One can give it some smart, intellectual, academic, psychological words, but I stick for now just to these words. There's some kind of temptation in that the thing that you don't want to do, but you find yourself that I'm most probably going to end up there if I don't do something about it, if I don't snap out of the cycle. I'll explain a little bit later as I go on how one might be able to snap out of a cycle. And then, if it's not stopped, that downhill, you get into phase 3. Phase 3 I call the binging phase. And binge refers to the term they use when girls, they have bulimia. They would eat and eat and eat and eat, and then they would vomit it out. That's part of their cycle. But that word binging would mean that in your third phase of this cycle, you do the things that you don't want to do, you do it over and over again and over and over again, and you don't want to do it, but you keep on doing it, and you get some kind of gratification out of it, and then you feel saturated, you feel satisfied, but within an hour you can be there again and do what you don't want to do. And then, and this also I'm not quite sure why this happens, but then we get to a place where it's now, I can't carry on anymore. It might be an experience of I don't want to carry on anymore, or it might just be, I don't know if you're familiar with the term homeostasis or equilibrium. Those terms just indicate that we do something and it satisfies us, but not forever. Like eating. You might get hungry, then you eat, and now you're full, but you will get hungry again. And then let's say in 4 hours time, you're hungry again, then you eat, then you're full, and then you're not hungry anymore. And then that will carry you, let's say, another 4 to 6 hours. But you will get hungry again. So the whole process of ebb and flow, being out there, being hungry, wanting something, and then getting it, and then being satisfied for a while. But then the urge might come again, that you want it again, and you feel hungry and you want food, for instance, if we take that example, and then you eat again, but you're full again. This process carries on that you do something which you actually hate to do. You hate yourself for doing it. In this binge phase, whatever your addiction is. And in this phase, it will ebb and flow like in equilibrium until at one point you say, okay, no, it's enough. I can't carry on. If you're buying shoes, maybe you've reached the credit card limit or something, but some things will stop you. Or you'll stop yourself because of serious guilt or severe hurt, pain, emotional pain that is caused by what you're doing. Then you climb out of this binging phase again. And phase 4, I call remorse. Remorse means you feel seriously guilty and condemned about what you did. And what you did could have lasted for a day or a couple of days or a week or so on. So then you're in your remorse phase and you feel sad, you feel broken, you feel you've failed yourself, you feel disappointed. It's a lot of negative feelings that you have in your phase 4 of the cycle. But eventually even that goes away. Time heals a lot. Time takes us forward and it takes us away from that point in our lives where we've messed up. And then we go into phase 1 again, where things are okay. Now, I'm not sure whether all people can identify with this and understand this, but I certainly can. And many people that I've experienced in my life that I see struggle with certain things. When I explain this to them, they say, yeah, I struggle with X, Y, and Z. And it sort of runs this way as you've described it. That I feel okay sometimes. And I feel okay for a whole week or two. And then sometimes I just have a dream, or I see something, or I hear about something, or a memory of the past that has been hurt, where I have been hurt, comes up. And then I go down into temptation, or I go down slope, and then I go into my binge phase. This might also even apply to people that have depression from time to time, that they have this kind of cycle. Especially people that have bipolar. Bi means two, and polar means opposite ends of a scale. So they have ups and they have downs, and they have ups and they have downs. This is a reality of life for many of us. The first step in breaking this cycle is acknowledging that you have some kind of cycle. If you can't acknowledge that, or you don't have that, or don't understand that, or don't see yourself as being subjected to this kind of cycle, then most probably you don't have that. But the person, like the alcoholic, can only be helped when he says, I've got a problem. Before that time, you don't help that person. You just carry on and try to manage life with a person like that. Just see how you can get through a day, because that person is not going to change unless the person wants to change. Change starts with initiating and deciding it and choosing it for yourself. I present coaching training to guys people that want to become life coaches. And I tell them, I don't help people that need help. I only help people that want help. As a coach, you think that you've got solutions for certain things for a person's life. But unless they see it and unless they want it, you're not helping them really. Help starts with saying, I need help. So therefore, I only help people that want help, not need it. There are many people that need help. And there are not so many people that want help. Addictions are very strong. You can't break them alone. Although many people think they can, you can't. So the second thing you need is accountability. Accountability is a foreign to this world concept. It means that you confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you can get healed. That you have a safe place, or with a person or with a group of people where you can be yourself. And where you can talk about those things that we don't want to talk about. That often happens in phase 3 of a cycle. And when you find such a place, you treasure it for life. Because it becomes a safe haven and an anchor, and it becomes a place where you are saved and redeemed and set free. So accountability means that there is a place where people can be honest about who they are, really are. We all have a public self, and we all have a private self. That is a known fact in psychology. The public self is what we are when we are in public. And the private self is what we are when no one sees. And the two might be different. For most of us, there are elements that are different between the two. The closer your public and your private self is to one another, the more integrated and the more whole and the more healed you are as a person. If I am with you like I am everywhere else, even when I'm alone, then I'm a very healed person.